Hi, I'm Morgan. I'm their dean, and I taught all of them freshman year. And I'm starting with a bit of a song, too. Slow down, you crazy child. You're so ambitious for a juvenile. But then if you're so smart, tell me, why are you still so afraid? That's the unofficial Nueva theme song. It is. It is. I've heard it every year. These guys sang along to it at their retreat. Last year's class sang it at Coffee House. And when I was in high school, my siblings heard me sing that song obsessively in the shower so many times, dozens of times. And I know that album front to back, but that song in particular always felt like Billy Joel was talking right at me. Slow down, you're doing fine. You can't be everything you want to be before your time. I wanted to grow up so fast when I was your age. Maybe this resonates with some of you. I wanted to be independent, make a name for myself, change the world, build my legacy. I wanted it all before I was even legal. I got the A's. I went to the Ivy League school, engineering school. I enrolled as a chemical engineer, too slow. I became a computer scientist. I started a company. Bill Clinton gave us money. That was cool. It was hard, but I graduated, emerging with an ego bruised from 1D plus, but completely exhausted, honestly, from years of pulling all-nighters. So many all-nighters, so many things on my to-do list, and only so many hours in the day. I packed up my car and beelined to California for my first job in tech. And I want to tell you a story about when Billy Joel's song, Vienna, stopped resonating with me. So right before I left my last job as an engineer, I went on a road trip with my mom and two sisters in New Mexico. I came in from San Francisco. They came in from the East Coast. We hadn't been seeing each other a lot at that time. And at work, I was working on a GIS demo for the Secretary of Defense. It felt like a huge deal. It was a really high-stakes project. I was waking up every day for 5 a.m. calls in the morning and staying up every night to write code. And honestly, I barely remember what my mom and sisters and I did in between. My mom was worried about me. I was sick all the time, but she was also proud of me. She's like, I guess you're doing what you want, right? This was your goal. She thought I was following the path that I wanted. So one morning, as I get off one of these 5 a.m. calls with some Swedes, my mom is awake already, watching the announcement of the international travel ban on TV to stop the spread of COVID. They rebooked their flights and were gone the next morning. Our trip got cut short before I even had the chance to enjoy it. So a few months later, I left that job, which I thought was my dream job, and jumped into the unknown. I didn't understand why yet, but my gut was telling me that I was working really hard, building a future that I didn't actually believe in. In my goodbye email, I told my team maybe I would go be a folk singer in Mexico. It's still on the table. I really didn't plan to be a teacher. And you guys are going to become things that you do not plan to be. I promise. But honestly, in retrospect, my love for teaching had to hit me over the head so many times before I surrendered. It took me a decade to listen. A month before my high school graduation, so about your age, I went back and interned with my elementary school art teacher. I loved it. I left engineering school for a year to go teach in India. I loved it. No. Still stay the path. Still get the career I planned out to get. And it wasn't until 2021 where I left my job in tech and finally decided to substitute teach at an elementary school near me that my perspective changed. So my perspective suddenly went from 10,000 feet, programming maps with drone footage capture, to 3 feet, which was the height of Isabella, the kindergartner who was too small to use the public toilet at school and needed my help to climb onto the toilet every single day, multiple times a day. We became bathroom buddies. It was a jarring pivot. It was a big pivot. But honestly, I learned so much from them and played and laughed and chalk and double dutch and so much phonics. And each day I also went home and napped like a kindergartner. That's why I teach high school. Y'all are way less exhausting, believe it or not. Parents, you don't have to agree, but my heart was bursting with love for the classroom. Its endless surprises, questions, drama, and intense humanness on display. This was the vehicle that I wanted to use to build a future I believed in. But I still had trouble letting go. On the night before my first day at Nueva, before your first day at Nueva as freshmen 4 years ago, I wrote in my journal, "First day of classes tomorrow." Why am I doing this again? I have this feeling that I'm watching someone else plunge ahead with my life, living out a story that's part of an upgrade, software terminology, I wasn't clued in on. Am I ready for this? Honestly, I wasn't ready. In the next entry, I described my first day of classes as not totally disastrous, but it wasn't pretty. And then humbling, but motivating. Love the positivity. Grace Chan even came up to me at the end of my first train wreck class and asked, "Are you a new teacher?" Don't worry, you're doing a good job. To which I promptly ran to the bathroom and cried. I really miss that art hallway bathroom. Single stall forever, gender neutral bathroom. These kids know they had a party in it once. Where am I? Let's be real. It was rough, and you know, because you were there. I taught every single one of you in that obligatory iLab class freshman year, DWI, not driving while intoxicated, design with impact. Can I get a cheer for design with impact? Yeah, there we go. It's a Nueva special, folks. It is. Okay. But really, hot glue gun burns, ragged cardboard edges, Rube Goldberg machines that needed so much nudging to work. We're going to call that first semester a prototype. Listen, graduates. Are you listening? Not everyone gets so many reminders to follow their heart. And even those who are hit on the head so hard and see the signs, they don't take action, often for fear of what might happen if they deviate from whatever path they've designed for themselves or that others have designed for them. I still like to think that if I didn't heed the call to teach, it just would have gotten louder and louder every year until it couldn't be ignored. Sometimes that happens if you don't listen to your heart. But who knows? There's a parallel version of me that's still a defense contractor debugging code on Christmas Day in a skiff somewhere. No shade, though, if that's the dream that your heart makes. So, Billy Joel's last verse says, "Dream on, but don't imagine they'll all come true." I'm thankful that the dream I designed as a graduate didn't turn out to be true. Teaching at Nueva, starting with your class 4 years ago, watching you grow, and now witnessing your senior year and graduation as your dean has been the greatest gift of my life I never dreamt of receiving. It might be hard for my colleagues to believe. I know it's hard for them to believe because they're always like, "Why are you doing this job?" But I truly relish every moment with you. Even the long days and the longer conversations, the 5 a.m. wake-up call to start the year with senior sunrise, supervising petunias being planted in a urinal for your senior prank. Sam, that was genius. You just got a shout out in 3 speeches. Very memorable. Yeah, really good. It was beautiful. It looked like it should have been in the MoMA. What else? I rush delivered a Cleopatra cape for lip syncers. And honestly, the best part has just been the daily rituals of getting to know each of you at this really big inflection point in your life. I love this community. I love your class for the ways that you've changed this community for the better by stretching it and challenging it with your big ideas, your desire for progress, and iconic personalities. Reed, you are weird. You're really weird, in the good way, in the best way. Keep Nueva weird. I love my colleagues, too, who have really taken me under their wing as a new teacher, like a family of really cool, super smart superheroes. They all have many hidden talents. This is the best job I've ever had, and it's the one I never expected. So, as we all leave the comfort of the Nueva nest, we can't possibly imagine all the paths we'll take. Don't limit them. Resist the temptation to control every aspect of your plan, your destiny. And smart people often think they can do this. And definitely don't let anyone else control your path. There is such a delicate balance between working hard towards your hard-charging ambitions, and I know you have them, versus slowing down, leaving space, and letting your heart speak, actually listening to it, and acting on it. It's really hard. Things get noisy. We live in a really noisy world with a lot of opinions on what you should do with your lives, but I promise sometimes it will get too loud to ignore. So, class of 2025, while you're on the way to changing the world, let the world change you. Let people in. Believe that everyone has something to teach you. Talk to strangers. Really, talk to strangers. No one is above you, no one below you, only beside you. Let art and music and stories get under your skin. Make some of your own. Fall in love and let it change the way you see yourself and the world and yourself in the world forever. Surprise yourself. Surprise us all. And whatever you do in the future, do it with your whole heart. And if for some reason you're having trouble convincing your heart, then why the heck are you doing it in the first place? So, there's no trophy along the way. There's only Vienna, and she's already waiting for you, your heart song. When will you realize Vienna waits for you, graduates? Love you guys.